What's up, guys? You're on Make Love Great Again. I'm your host, DeAnna Lorraine, and we will be right back in 2 minutes with my new co-host, Joe Biggs. We'll be right back. We're in the middle of a romance apocalypse. There are more single adults than ever before. Marriage is on the decline. The birth rate is at the lowest point in history. People are not connecting and forming real relationships. For the first time in human history, the very concepts of marriage and romance, God, the family, gender, and even our national anthem are under attack. Our American values have been slowly deteriorating and replaced with liberal, progressive values. We're in the middle of not only the romance apocalypse, but a war on our very souls. Speaking the truth is called hate speech. Patriotism is now called racism. Believing in God makes you a bigot. The current state of America is directly intertwined with the current state of our relationships. We are actively enslaving ourselves into a loveless, joyless, genderless future. Men and women of common sense and a moral compass need to wake up to the destructive madness that is being thrust upon us in the name of progressiveness and political correctness, and look ahead to where this ideology and agenda are ultimately taking us. We can make love great again. We can make America great again. But we need to remember who we are. We need to remember the spirit and the values that once made this country and our relationships so great.
This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, and we will make America great again.
All right. What's up, everybody? We're going to come right back with Mr. Joe Biggs on the line. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Cool. So we are on live right now, and it is Wednesday, September 5th. There's been a lot of hot news this week. Where do you want to get started? I kind of want to start with Mr. Insane Kaepernick.
Yeah, I mean,
debacle.
it's not even Kaepernick, it's Nike. I mean, really, there was a board meeting. People sat down in a circle, more than likely, in a conference room, and were throwing out ideas of how we could reignite sales with Nike. And some guy goes, why don't we bring in Kaepernick? and a panel of people went, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, that's just, to me, it's mind-boggling that someone who's literally brought the NFL to its knees would be seen as a poster boy for Nike. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either. I think, I think that, obviously Kaepernick is to blame, but also Nike. I see it as nothing other than a slap in the face for half of America. You know, whether they think it's offensive or not, clearly at least half of America thinks that it's offensive what Kaepernick has been doing. And we think it's offensive to not stand for the national anthem. So not only is it offensive, but it's an incredibly, I think it's the lowest form of disrespect, personally, to Americans and to veterans. And they keep insisting that he has gotten the approval of veterans, and they think kneeling is okay for the national anthem. But you are a veteran. I mean, do you think it's okay?
Well, I mean, if I said I didn't think it's okay, then I kind of wouldn't have listened to the oath that I took. I swore an oath to the Constitution, and under the First Amendment, it's been proven time and time again that can be done. So yes, I do support their right to do it. Do I, on a personal level, disagree with it? Of course. I mean, I don't like it. I think it's stupid. I mean, think about this. Let's look at it from a leftist point of view, because they apparently are the party for the minorities, the Democrats.
Right.
Think about how many minorities and immigrants come from another country. They risk life and limb. They risk being sold into human trafficking or raped crossing the border, or being dragged, tortured, and starved, eaten by sharks on makeshift rafts to get here.
Yeah.
These people see something in America worth dying for, worth being possibly raped for, worth losing their child over to attain such an amazing thing to become a United States citizen. What that national anthem represents and what that flag represents is the embodiment of the American dream, which is an attainable goal for anyone if you come in and you do it the right way.
Yeah.
So not only are you disrespecting soldiers, but the left are also disrespecting the people who are trying to leave oppressive regimes, who are trying to leave countries that don't allow them to be free, and make that journey across waters, across deserts, through tunnels, to come somewhere for a chance at a better life. So you're really just truly spitting at the greatest thing that's ever came, since the creation of the world. I mean, and that's what we are. We are the greatest country, and it's not a cocky thing to say, but I mean, we did put a person on the moon. We do have a flag up there, regardless of what Ryan Gosling and Hollywood want you to think, and Hollywood that's owned by China.
Right.
We've done some truly amazing things, and it's not, and that's not saying, well, that's the white man or anything like that. That's all Americans, because we need to stop using these terms: white American, black American, African American, all this shit. We're just an American who just happens to be this or that.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Exactly. And it's, when people keep saying, well, it's his right to protest, it is his right to protest. And it's also his right to free speech. But choose any other time, I think, any other time. Get off your job, first of all. You're there to play a job. You're not there to make a political statement. And do your job great. And then all of the off time in the world that you have, you can choose to make this protest. He doesn't really talk about these kinds of issues, though, in his off time, it seems like. And
it's funny when it's off season, you don't see any of these NFL players out there do anything.
No.
It's only when the season begins and through the course of the season, because that's when everyone's watching something, and they can easily, take away from why they're there. I don't watch football. I don't watch football anymore, but when I watched, I didn't watch for politics. I watched to escape politics. I watched because Monday through Saturday, I had to hear the same shit every day when I went to an office, or if I went to a doctor's, office, or if I was at work, or, in a crowd of people. Everyone's talking about politics all the time. Sunday was my day. My day to be with my family, to grill out, to watch a game, to let loose, have a beer, have fun, and just forget about all the political BS that's been going on.
Right.
And relax. And it's been taken from me, and I'm pissed off.
It is. Yeah, I feel like people have been robbed without their consent. They always talk about consent. What about this? I feel like this is without our consent. We didn't want to have football be kind of robbed from us in a way, and have this, have it turn into such a debacle like this, and watch it. And instead of feeling that patriotic feeling that most of us feel when we watch sports, or when we used to watch sports, it's been taken from us, and we get angry. I mean, when I see people kneeling, I get physically angry, and I don't want to watch the rest of the game because of it. So, talk about consent. That wasn't with our consent, with half of America. And the fact that they're then glorifying it. And then what makes me even more upset is that was all bad enough. But then he goes around and sues the NFL because he thinks that's collusion. They're colluding against him to not get signed again, when he willingly left the team and he wanted more money, and now he's not getting signed. So this to me feels like they're glorifying victimhood, right? Like if you're not successful, it's because everyone else is colluding against you, or it's racism, or some other thing that is not in your control. And that is not the American dream. That's not the American values that we had, which is based on, you can be successful based on hard work and merit and talent, right? And persistent. It's not, the people who get successful, it's because they're lucky, or they're a certain race, and the people that aren't successful is because they're held down by society. And young kids are taking after those qualities now, and it's a really sad thing. We can see the state of victimhood right now, and we're in shambles because of it.
Yeah, I think it's lack of athletic ability that really, took away from the fact that he's not playing in the NFL. Let's just be honest. The guy did good his first year, and then it really started to fall off. It wasn't even that great either. So
yeah, he wasn't like a mega star football player.
Look at another prime example of someone who kind of started off good, and then they just completely and totally sucked. Tim Tebow. I'm a Florida Gator. I love Tim Tebow. I love Tim Tebow because he's a great guy. But let's be honest, he was a great college football player. But then when he went to the pros, he just wasn't cut out for it. It's just a different level. But we did get to see him take the Denver Broncos to the playoffs, and he did a phenomenal thing. And John Elway kind of screwed him over, in my opinion. But you didn't hear you didn't see Tim Tebow out there crying every day. Oh, my God, they're colluding against me. It's because I'm Christian. It's because I'm a white male. He just said, screw it. Guess what? I'm still a competitor. Yeah. I'm still a competitor. I'm still a leader.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. I put both of them together, computer.
Is that a word? I like it.
I'm still a competitive leader, a competitor.
Yeah.
And,
New word.
What did he do? Now he's damn near, about to be like a really good professional baseball player.
Yeah.
And he's doing phenomenal. But here's the thing. I mean, he's an outstanding human being and a leader, and he's got things that he's offering. Instead of dwelling on the negative things in life, Tim Tebow's the guy that goes up and talks about the positive things and how he can uplift and help others, because there's issues in the world that Tim Tebow sees that he could be a positive impact for.
Yes.
Unlike Colin Kaepernick, who all he does is bitch and complaining about me, I, poor me. It's because I'm a black man. They don't like my afros, my socks, blah, 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 blah. When what he could do is, if he truly believed in his issues, to get up off his ass and go fight for him and do something instead of putting on, cops with, they look like pig socks.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything. You're sowing division.
Yeah.
You're doing nothing but creating more issues. There's one thing they always tell us in the military: never bring a problem to the table without a solution. And that's all Kaepernick does, is bring problems to the table. Everyone can bring problems to the table.
Yeah.
If you're going to sit here and bitch about something, we want to hear solutions. And I haven't heard him come up with one single solution yet on anything.
I haven't either. It's just all bitching and complaining. And this is, young kids are seeing this as a role model, and so now they're kneeling for the national anthem or sitting, and they're thinking, if I'm not successful, it's because of racism, and it's because of, it's because of the bad whitey guy holding me down, and it's because of cops. But, there's no solution to this. I mean, racism is really difficult to measure, if not impossible. People can be more politically correct and be more polite, and cops can stop doing their job by, getting more hesitant to actually pull the trigger on people that look suspicious or pull people over that look suspicious. I don't think that's a big win, though, for our country. I don't think that's a big achievement.
Well, that's a whole different thing. I mean, in law enforcement and when doing stuff, you have to look at statistics. Statistically speaking, certain groups of people commit crimes more than other groups of people.
Right.
So that's not racism. Those are just facts.
Yes.
And that's just what the left likes to do, is they like to call facts racism, so you can ignore the facts, so you don't have to pay attention to it, and then blame the problems on someone else.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that all people from a specific demographic or whatever, a certain group, are bad. It's just that a large portion of crimes committed come from a specific group.
Yeah.
That's just a pure fact.
It is.
I'm not sitting here saying, well, because you look like that specific group of individuals who've committed crimes, you're all that way. No. Or if you, let's say most serial killers come from a specific group of individuals, i.e. guys who look like me, doesn't mean that all people that are white Christian males are serial killers.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. That's all.
Yeah.
You don't have to be offended by it. What America needs to do is, just like my T-shirt says at AmericanTriggerPullers.com, stop being whiny ass bitches. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop using race for everything all the time. Stop. Oh my God, it's because I'm black. No, you didn't get that job because you were black or because you weren't black. You got it because of your effort to attain that job. You didn't wake up at 6:30 in the morning like John did over here, who woke up at 6:30 every morning.
Yeah.
You got up at 10 and barely skated in 5 to 10 minutes early. But John over here was up there 35, 45 minutes early. He also, instead of going out drinking every night, went home and read about his job and learned how to further his career and read books to help him better understand what he was doing.
Right.
That's why John got that promotion, not you. It has nothing to do with your color.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is. You either have that self-motivation to do better in life or you don't. and you can't play the victim card of it. All you can do is you can look in the mirror and go, well, I'm a victim because I'm an idiot because I didn't take the time and the steps necessary to do better. It's only your own fault when this shit happens.
It is. And that was the American dream before. That was the concept that everybody knew. Black people, white people, everybody knew that. And I feel like Colin is crushing the American dream and American values with what he's doing. And the fact that Nike is glorifying him. Look, kids, this is your new role model. Someone who bitches and whines about everything and complains that when he's not successful, this is systemic racism. That's your new role model. I think it's sickening. And then there's people like Tim Tebow, who actually is someone who's a great role model and embodies those qualities of a great role model. Or Chris Kyle, or people that have actually, lost limbs in the military and literally did fight for a country and make a sacrifice. Kaepernick is going around saying he made this big sacrifice. He sacrificed everything. That's the slogan of the Just Do It campaign. What the hell did you sacrifice? You have millions of dollars. You're getting paid millions to be a talking head and a loser, really. And Chris Kyle's wife, actually, I don't know if you heard her comments, but she made some scathing comments yesterday, blasting Nike for choosing him as a role model. And I thought it was great that she stepped up. I was hoping someone like that would step up.
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay, let me read just a few of these thoughts from her. I liked it a lot.
I've met her a few times and seen her at a few events. She's a really nice lady.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. Because there's people that are literally dealing with loss. She says, Nike, I love your gear, but you exhaust my spirit on this one. Your new ad with Colin Kaepernick, I get the message, but the sacrificing everything thing, it just doesn't play out here. Sacrificing what exactly? A career? I've done that both times I chose to stay home and be with my kids instead of continuing my business climb. And it wasn't sacrificing everything, it was sacrificing one career and some money, and it was because of what I believe in, and more importantly, who I believe in. And then she went on to talk about, other people that have sacrificed much more, like the NFL player turned Army Ranger Pat Tillman, who died in the line of duty while serving in 2004, right? And then other warriors. And that's my point. We continue to glorify these people that are just not, they're not real role models. They don't embody any kind of American values or values that I would want my kids to strive for. And I'm really disappointed in Nike. And yes, I will burn my stuff. I know it's stupid, but I will burn it. And I won't buy another Nike product. And that sucks because I like Nike. I liked Nike.
I honestly forgot Nike existed up until this whole thing happened. I mean, when I was a kid, Nike was huge. And Nike really reached its pinnacle under Tiger Woods, in my opinion. I remember when Tiger Woods, came on the block, he was this, sight to behold. I mean, here you are in this complete and total sport dominated by white guys, old white guys, and you have this young, fresh new guy, this young black guy, and he's coming in and kicking everyone's ass, and Nike signs this huge deal with him, and everyone, all of a sudden, I'm on the golf, because I played golf a lot when I was younger. Everyone's wearing Nike, and you weren't cool if you were on, were playing golf without Nike on, and it used to be like all these older, companies that were really boring, and they had I don't know, you look like a bellhopper when you're out there. You just look like a ridiculous 80-year-old man.
Right.
And then Nike brought this young, fresh sense of style to the whole golfing world, and I thought it was really cool. And I joined the military, and shit, I mean, I haven't seen anything from Nike in forever. I literally forgot they even existed. I thought they fell off the face of the earth like Nautica did. I remember when Nautica
Oh, my gosh, Nautica.
Nautica and Lacoste and all that. Like that, those were like the hottest things when I was a kid. And then I see this ad and I was like, oh shit, they're still around, huh? Well, that's pretty disrespectful and screwed up. And really interesting choice, but yeah, okay.
I guess that they just chose, they were like, okay, maybe we are kind of going down the tubes as far as popularity goes. So why not just, okay, we're going to piss off half Americans, but then we're going to really get the support of the other half of the Americans.
Yeah, but look at the other people. Look at the other half. They're not even athletic.
That's a good observation.
Yeah, Nike, what is Nike? Nike is athletic wear. I mean, these are people who are competing in sports and shit. Now, let's be honest. I mean, most of the people in Hollywood, I wouldn't say most, I'd say there's a good proportion of people in Hollywood and a good group of people within sports that really are conservatives, that probably voted for Trump, that are right wing, but on camera they do what they have to do to appease the sponsors and shit like that. I don't know where I was going with that.
Not as many. No, most liberals are probably whiny little biatches who don't actually, who are not athletic and who can't even afford a pair of Nikes.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see these types of people. I mean, it's like Dick's Sporting Goods saying we're going to get rid of guns and stuff. You know?
My God, horrible!
I don't see the people that I see at Antifa groups and leftist protests at Dick's Sporting Goods,
no.
And I don't see, sure as hell don't see them in the Nike aisle. You know, it's like, who are you? Like, are you going to change? Like Harley's trying to change their look for their motorcycles now. Like there's a cover of Bloomberg or something like that, or Business Insider. I had to take a screenshot of it when I was at the LAX. I thought it was hilarious. Because they're trying to revamp their look, and it's like an eagle holding an avocado, and it says trendy on the patch.
God.
Like they're redoing their looks, and I'm just like, these aren't the people who use your product. The guy with the pink hair and the man bun's not going and like, all right, guys, he's ready to go play basketball.
I know.
Like, no, it's the fucking athletic conservative guy or woman out there that's going jogging and running all the day.
Right.
It's just these people. I don't know. They're letting politics take over decision making for being good business people. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
It does. I feel like they're overrun by leftists because they can't be this stupid. Just like Yeti, Yeti coolers, getting rid of their sponsorship with the NRA. And again, who do you think buys Yeti coolers? It isn't, who's going camping? Who's doing this kind of camping, hunting things that requires these coolers? It's not really liberals typically. It's conservatives typically who love camping and fishing and hunting. So why? I don't know. Like they can't be this stupid. It's like they're deliberately trying to outrage us and piss us off. I don't get it.
Yeah, they're just committing suicide, I guess.
Yeah, they're committing suicide. All right, so enough about that. What do you think about Kavanagh's confirmation process so far? Or rather, it's like a circus. It is a full-blown circus. Have you seen it? The antics? I didn't
watch any of it yesterday. I mean, I was so tired coming in from LA, I just slept. Yeah. But today, I've got it on behind me. I've been watching it most of the morning. God almighty, I mean, it's ridiculous, to say the least. I mean, you've got one side of the aisle that's, going, well, these are the issues that we really care about, and, and how do you look at these? And then the other one's like, oh, did you ever see this email that I sent you? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes,
in 1928,
you said this about me, you said this about me in an email. And he goes, if I'm looking at the paperwork you gave me correctly, it says I was CC'd, and I didn't answer anything until 20 pages into it where I said, who's this from? And that's it. And they're blaming him for some email, this old guy, Leahy or whatever. I mean, it's like the dumbest crap in the world. It's boring. He's going to get confirmed. And it's just, they're trying to catch him in something to see if he'll slip up.
They are.
But they brought out actual screenshots and these hardboard cutouts of actual comments he's made. And all he's doing is reading it word for word, going either, yes, that's true, or no, that isn't true. And it's just kind of like, it's boring. It's a show. They've got paid oh, that's what I'm glad you brought this up. Let me show you this.
Yeah.
So, where's this at? Here we go. This article just popped up right now. Texas doctors at Kavanagh hearing say they've seen liberal protesters paid with literal bag of cash, and there's a video and photo.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, we've seen this before. I've been to numerous protests around the country, and you see this stuff. We joke about, like, they're being paid or they're being busted in. Yeah, someone's paying for that. Most of the people, if you go to these, if you watch, like, Fleck's Talk videos or Nuance Bro or any of the ones I've done, when you go to these protests, the people don't know why they're there. They're literally there because they saw an ad in Craigslist, or they saw on Angie's List or whatever the hell those other pages are, and they go, "Yeah, I need to make some money because it's extra money.
I'll make $500 in a day, sure."
They don't make the signs. I've seen them. I've got video of it. There's trucks that pull up and buses and stuff that pull up, and they just unload these professional signs and they hand them out. Well, take this one. You take this one. Oh, I'm pro-abortion today. Okay, cool. Yay, abortion. And the other guy's like, women's rights. We need women's rights. And it's like, even though we have women's rights, let's wave that we don't have them yet. We still need them. And that's all that you see. It's just, it's all a show.
It is.
It's the Matrix. It's bullshit.
It is. It's absolute theatrics. And then there was, there were a bunch of women yesterday that dressed up like the Handmaid's Tale, wearing red, these red gowns and everything, because they were like talking about, he's going to overturn Roe v. Wade and abortion and everything. And it's all just a show. They're screaming in the audience like children, like really like crazy people. It's absolutely insane.
I don't get reference to that because I've never seen the show or heard of it. So
I've never seen the show, but apparently The Handmaid's Tale is a movie that was recently out that is about basically, you know, women back in the day who were wanting to get abortions, who couldn't get abortions, so they had to do it themselves or do it with the coat hangers or whatever. So it's like, yeah. So they're like, oh, we're going to go back to the times when we had coat hangers, you know, get your abortions now. He's going to overturn abortion. I mean, it's all just sick. It's a show. But this is, you know, I don't think that this is going to win them any new fans. I think this is...
Wait, so people actually use coat hangers and stuff?
That's what
that was just like a joke.
I mean, it's an ongoing claim, right? That before Roe v. Wade, you know, people had to use coat hangers for abortions in back alleys. Right.
Let's hope not. That's...
Right. I mean, or you could just not get an abortion too. I mean, there's all that. There's even a new organization called Shout Your Abortion, which I just heard about. I didn't know about, but it's all about, you know, being proud of your abortions, and the more proud you are, the better. That's like how much of a woman you are. So I was just reading about it, and they really encourage women to, you know, tweet and share videos of them shouting out that they had an abortion. And one girl is on there saying that she's had an abortion 3 times and she's proud of it. Isn't that just sick?
That's Oprah's stuff. I remember reading something saying Oprah supported that whole thing. She was a big supporter of this shout your abortion. I mean, that's...
Right.
I mean, I don't even know how to, like, put that into words. I mean... You would have asked me this 20 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have laughed. That we would have people in the roads making videos of themselves, you know, literally screaming about murder or something like that. I did it! I killed that thing! Yeah!
Yeah, like I
Look
did
how
it.
strong I am as a woman! Like, oh my God. God, forgive us, please.
I know. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, how is he dealing with all of this? You know, women shouting that they had abortions, like, yes, killing is so cool. It makes you more of a woman. It's sick stuff. I mean, it's more sick that they convinced millions of women around the world that, like, killing is cool. Disgusting.
Evil truly does exist.
Evil truly does exist. I hope Kavanagh is confirmed. I think he will confirm, but this clown show is just going to delay it. Right? I think they really want him confirmed by October so that he can start the new season.
Yeah, I think it'll happen. It's just like there's a new anti-Trump book out, and this guy knows something that all the other ones didn't know. And
right.
I'm sure if we just wait 48 hours, you know, wait a week, we'll find out that it's all BS. And the person who wrote this book, Woodward or whatever, is a history of lying. And
he does.
You know, already had some shady stuff. So it's just the same thing. It's the same cycle because this all started because of Trump-Russia, but we found no Trump-Russia stuff. But, you know, we gave this, you know, special counsel this ultimate power, and it started off to investigate Trump-Russia, but then we exceeded that, and we said, and any other types of criminal activity. So now they're just going and digging into people. So, you know, we should just expand it to all of politicians. If we're going to put a, you know, what do you call it? A microscope at Trump and his people. Let's turn that microscope to every Republican, to every Democrat, and let's see how corrupt everybody is. I guarantee you we're going to see some more effed up stuff coming from a lot of these other people that are pointing fingers, and they're pointing those fingers because they want to keep the attention on someone else and not themselves.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those who scream the loudest are the most guilty, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see them put these people through the same microscope and the same kind of process. Like, do you remember an email from 1992? Do you remember if you said this in this email from 1992? That's what they're saying to Kavanagh, right? And there's nothing in there. There's no substance there. They know that he's more than qualified. He's excellently qualified. He has excellent credentials. They're not going to find anything. But it would be sad if they found something on a technicality.
Well, and then when they'll write a headline, Kavanaugh flip-flops on something he said in 1970, whatever. The only way to be a good human being is to technically be a flip-flopper. That means your ideas have changed as you've evolved as a person and gotten older. If I thought the same way I did at 17 now, well, I'd be an immature little shithead, you know?
True. Thank God.
our opinions and our outlooks on life and different things should mature and should change with age as we, progress through this, upward scale into adulthood and, becoming elderly and all that, and having, wisdom at some point in time, or at least a small grasp of what we would think would be, wise and an understanding of what's happening in the world. At 34 years old, I'm nowhere near that. But my thoughts have evolved and changed since, I was half that. And then, and I'm assuming in 20, 30 years, again, my thoughts either will become strengthened, which will be backed behind more facts and evidence to support my beliefs, and or they will have faltered and they have changed to other things because other facts have led me to believe another way. So I think that's good when people say that, they thought one way and then 20 years later they probably thought another way, especially if they're doing it, in a smart way.
Absolutely. I mean, I had some liberal views back in like 10 years ago, and I voted for John Kerry because, my college told me to. But now I've completely changed, my values. I mean, my conservative values have totally strengthened. So if it weren't for changing, someone can go back and say, oh, she flip-flopped or she voted for Kerry. But yeah, it's because I've grown into a much better person, and I would never vote Democrat again. So
yeah, it's all BS.
It is all BS. It is all BS. People in the chat room are also agreeing, saying it's absolutely just a circus. And Linda Sarsour, I don't know if you know who she is.
Yeah, the mother of ISIS, that's what I call her.
The mother of ISIS. She's a nut job if I've ever seen one, but she was there at the hearing, and she got arrested. She was one of the people that got arrested she was just screaming and making a huge scene. Don't people think it's ironic that Linda Sarsour, who is complaining about women's rights and, women's rights and Roe v. Wade being taken away here, she's the biggest advocate of Sharia law. I've never seen, there's nothing more oppressive to women than Sharia law, right? So how do these people, I mean, I don't really get how liberals even justify their stance anymore with a straight face.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a tweet by Imam Tawhidi. He's a imam in Australia who travels around and gives speeches and meets with governments and talks about the truth of Islam and Sharia law and things like that. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I had it. But either way, he's talking about how she's thrown herself as a supporter of Sharia law. She threw herself into that position as a married woman, knowing that other men would be touching her, which is breaking Sharia law.
Oh,
so within that faith, she's married to a specific, man, which means only that man has the right to ever touch her.
Wow.
And then Sharia law says that you should never put yourself in a situation as a married woman in which you will be touched by other men. And she knowingly went into this room, knowing that when she did act out and she did lash out and protest, that she would be carried out of there, and 90% likely that the people that were going to be kicking her out of there were going to be men. So that's a direct reflection of that. So Imam Tawhidi, had this really clever way of kind of breaking down of how, she's breaking her own law and by doing this, and she's a bad Muslim and blah, 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 blah. I thought it was kind of funny.
It was. Yeah, see if you can find that tweet. I read that too. It was great. But
she's just a snake. I mean, you've got this woman who goes out and she'll speak, with these, Jewish things, but then she's calling Jews the devil. And then she'll go and talk about how she loves women's rights, but, she supports countries that, don't give women rights whatsoever. I mean, that's a direct reflection of the snake in the grass. That's the serpent. That's the devil.
Yes.
Going in and tricking people, and then ultimately screwing them over.
Double meaning.
It's just insane how many people fall for that.
Oh, because they're very misled, and they don't get that this is the devil playing tricks, And even when they were at the Women's March and they took the American flag and used it as like a burqa, as a headscarf, I felt like that was another way of just spitting in the face of Americans, because it's just showing them, like, here's what we're going to do once we get in power here in America. You guys are no longer going to be in power. It was just like a direct symbolism of that.
Yes.
Right? And unfortunately, so many women were just so deceived, like, oh, this is so cool and this is so inclusive, you know, I'm going to do it too. And there are thousands of women wearing the American flag headscarf on their heads while they were just laughing.
Oh, it's just funny. They say they're fighting for women's rights in America. What rights don't women have in America?
That's what I always ask them.
I'm extremely confused by this. But you wanted to talk about real feminism. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the women in Iran and Saudi Arabia, these other places that are forced to wear, you know, hijab and all that, mm-hmm. and they rip them off. You know, and what are they doing by doing that? They're literally facing the possibility of being stoned to death, killed, and having all this shit happen because they're standing up and they're trying to fight for, hey, I shouldn't have to cover my body. I should be able to wear what I want to. See, I can support that.
Yes.
That's standing up. That's against your oppressors, saying, hey, you need to look like a Teletubby or a closed umbrella. And she's saying, no, I'm a beautiful woman and I can look sexy.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Or I can conservatively, I can wear a pantsuit. That's fine. That's still better than going to a linen shop and laying down and rolling in all the fucking cloth.
Right.
And then walking out into public and, you know, and that's all that's going on. I mean, and if that's your choice, you want to wear it, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But it shouldn't be your choice to wear it, but with a gun pointed to your head, you know, technically, that if you take it off, you're going to be killed or stoned to death. That's horrible. So let's lift up those people when we see those videos of those women ripping their burqas off and, you know, their hijabs or whatever, and they're running through the streets happy, you know, that they can let their hair down, long hair don't care, whatever the crap. You know, that's awesome. That's cool. I'll support that. Yeah. But not these snot-nosed little shits that run around acting like they're fighting for something when they already have everything here.
Right. And I always ask them specifically, what rights do we as women not have that you're fighting for? What is the fight? I don't get it. Please explain it to me as a woman. And they never have any kind of explanation for it. You know, they still think that there's systemic oppression for women. They still think that women aren't getting as many jobs as men or that aren't getting paid as much as men. But we know that the myth, the 77 cents on the dollar that women supposedly make compared to men has been exposed as a giant sham. You know, it's the average number of the average salary, right? Or the average salary for a year. So, of course, men make more money because they tend to have riskier jobs and they tend to work more average hours per week. 12 hours more than women per average week men work. And there's so many other reasons like life choices or personal choices for work, etc. There's so many different reasons why that gap is 77 cents on the dollar. But it's not because women literally, make 77 cents on the dollar, or else men would only hire women. It's well,
they made that same argument in Hollywood with that movie, All the Money in the World. That was Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Spacey. Then the whole Spacey thing happened. They had to recast him with Christopher Plummer, and they had to reshoot the scenes. And Marky Mark made millions, and the girl that played in the scenes with him made 3 times less. Well, I know who Mark Wahlberg is. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who that other lady was. I had to Google her and look her up. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, because his name is a crowd drawing, thing. It's a phenomenon. People tend to go watch Mark Wahlberg movies. He was great in Shooter.
Sure.
He's been good in all kinds of movies. I mean, I like a lot of the shit he does. I think their whole family's pretty cool dudes. They're Boston. That's awesome. I like freaking the Patriots. That's awesome. There's things I'm sure I would disagree with them on politically and some things, but who cares? I'm liking him strictly. I'm looking through him the lens of an actor. I know who he is. He's going to get paid more. I didn't know who the hell that one girl was. Now, if she was, let's say, Angelina Jolie or Charlize Theron or something like that, those chicks are making good money. They're making tons of good money.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they can rival up there with some of the other ones, especially if they have the lead role. Mm-hmm. But you can't expect to be a no-name actress and expect to be, on the pay scale of Marky Mark. That's like being the last pace athlete in a triathlon, expecting that you get to be on the awards podium like the first place guy because you feel like you worked hard to get there. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. You ate all those Oreos. You didn't make the first place podium because you didn't have self-control, Roger.
Right. You got to pay your dues, and this is all about, this is what I hate about this whole, everyone is equal thing. I mean, everyone is equal. Everyone has equal opportunity, but people have to get ahead based on their merit, their talent, and their hard work. We have to have a certain number of female managers or female executives or female, people in STEM those kinds of things, it doesn't work because then people stop actually working and hiring people based on their merit. They hire based on some quota that doesn't actually work in the long run.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me when you do that. You're picking race or religion or,
Right. Isn't that racist? That's the definition of racist and sexist.
Yeah, and over quality. I mean, I thought that you want the best people in leadership positions. I think as a business, you would want the best people in roles that are going to put your dollar to use if you're the one paying them, and they're supposed to help bring it to that next level of greatness within your company to reach more people, to make more money, to make better products. Better products are going to change the world. I don't want, Tom over here is really smart. I mean, he's this close to curing cancer, but we need a woman.
Right.
She worked at Taco Bell. She's really good at organizing the cheese, the lettuce, the tomatoes, and she sprinkles it on there. Well, we're going to bring her in there. Hey, Tom, better luck with curing cancer next time. We'll see you later.
Right.
And then next thing you know, it's like Taco Bell's the only restaurant because they won the franchise award. We're Demolition Man.
Well, it's just silly. I mean, it's crushing the American dream. It's crushing American values. And they went by the wayside, too, when Hillary Clinton, when the whole push for, she's a woman. She's the first woman president. And I can't tell you how many women I talked to where I said, what do you like about Hillary? Why are you voting for her? And their only answer was because I really want a woman president. It's cool to have the first woman president. That's it. Not based on any of her crimes, not based on any of her policies, not based on any of her skills. It's just I want to see a woman represent me.
I'm not opposed to having a female president at all.
Me neither. The right one.
But if they're the right one, let's not push someone through because hey, we're trying to be trendy, and they did it because we had the first black president. And I think they were like the left was like, well, we need a woman, and then the next time it'd be a dude who dresses up like a woman, and then after that it's going to be a dude who wears leather who thinks he's a dog on the weekend, and he's going to bark at us from the Oval Office, with a red ball in his mouth. Right. In a fucking strap or whatever. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
It's a slippery slope.
We've got to go, no, this is insane.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. And that's exactly what's happening with Miss America, too. Miss America, they got rid of the swimsuit competition. They got rid of the evening gown competition. And they got rid of the judging based on looks and personality, and which I thought that's the whole purpose of Miss America. And now they want to make sure that it's focused on, her social justice activism and her leadership ability and her intelligence, and that's what it's all going to be about. So first of all, bad mistake, bad ratings. Ratings are going to go down the tubes. But I have a prediction that now they're going to start sneaking in the transgenders in the Miss America because, if looks don't really matter anymore, then it may not matter if you're even a female. Right? If it's just based on social justice issues and intelligence and leadership, guarantee you this is the opening doorway for transgenders and non-binary people to start slipping in there. Because the first transgender woman or man, not sure what you call it, just won Miss Universe this summer. And so that, everyone always thinks...
That's even sexist, though. You're putting men in there.
Right.
You're putting that one man against all those women, and then you're saying that man's better than all these women. So, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, you're defeating your own purpose of what you're trying to do.
That's the irony of it. They don't see it. They're like, well, wait, weren't women supposed to get ahead in life? And now all of a sudden, men are entering women's wrestling tournaments and claiming that they're a woman transitioning. Men are entering into women's spaces now, and then they're crushing these women in these competitions. I think the irony is just it's astounding to me.
I think we should just all do it. I think all men should just start pretending to be women and all these things until they just say enough is enough.
Yes.
This is ridiculous and let's just quit it. And we go, that was our protest.
Yes. It'd be great.
The WNBA is literally just
all men.
16 fucking dudes running around playing basketball with wigs on. It's the same thing. It's the same players. They just put a wig on and they're slam dunking and, elbowing each other and stuff. And it's just this is awesome, women's basketball. And we're like,
I think it'd be great. And they're like, we identify as women today, so hey, here we go. We identify as this season. I mean, that would be a perfect protest because it's intelligent and it would actually get the message, I would think, until they say, okay, we don't really like this anymore.
Like, I remember watching that Rodney Dangerfield movie, Ladybug, back in the day, where his son ends up pretending to be a girl to play on this women's soccer team.
Oh, right.
And I was like, this is insane. This would never happen.
Yes. Yeah.
Rodney was on to something. He knew what was happening.
He knew. He's a prediction. Speaking of transgenders, actually, so there's a bunch of transgender people. They're now starting to push this bathroom thing in a more severe way. So in high schools, elementary schools, as young as kindergarten, they're really pushing for not only transgender bathrooms or gender-neutral bathrooms, but locker rooms. Isn't that kind of, I wouldn't allow my kid, I would be a little bit worried about my kid in kindergarten or fourth grade or something going in a locker room, changing for a PE class and having